People talk a lot about the law of attraction, about manifesting the future, visualizing what you want, holding the thought until reality bends. And look, there's something in that conversation that feels intuitively right. Most of us have felt it at some point. That sense that when we're aligned, when we're calm, when we're not forcing things, life seems to move with us rather than against us. But there's also something unsatisfying about the way it's often taught, as if repeating the right mantra or imagining the right outcome hard enough should somehow guarantee the result. And I think that's where people get stuck.
So are we talking about the law of attraction today?
Kind of, reframing the premise, but not in the way it's usually framed. Instead of leaving things to chance or affirmations or wishful thinking, I want to explore something quieter and far more practical. What if the future doesn't respond to what you want, but to the state you're living from? What if the real work isn't manifesting outcomes, but becoming the kind of person, biologically, psychologically, emotionally, who is ready for what they say they want? This isn't about controlling the universe, it's about preparing yourself. The cat metaphor. Chasing money is a bit like chasing a cat. Have you ever noticed how cats behave in a room full of people? They don't go to the loudest person. They don't go to the one reaching for them. They walk past all of that and curl up next to the calmest person in the room. The one who isn't grasping, the one who isn't trying. Wealth, opportunity, connection, they tend to work in the same way. Predictive brains and becoming ready. Modern neuroscience tells us that the brain is not a passive machine. It's a prediction engine. It's constantly asking, what kind of world am I in? What's likely to happen next? How much energy should I allocate? Is it safe to explore, or do I need to defend? This is called allostasis, the brain preparing the body in advance for the future it expects. And here's the quiet truth. If you live in chronic striving, tension, and scarcity, your brain predicts threat. It prepares you for survival, not expansion. That means narrow focus, tight muscles, short time horizons. But when you start inhabiting states of calm, agency, and vitality now, you're feeding the brain different data. You're telling it, this is the kind of future we're preparing for.
So you're saying the future starts as a prediction in the body, not a thought in the mind?
Exactly. The body leads the way. We often think change happens from the neck up, but the body gets there first. Your nervous system is constantly broadcasting information through posture, breath, tone of voice, micro-expressions, even scent. Calm bodies signal safety. Regulated systems invite trust. Coherent people create less friction in the world around them. This is what people often mean when they talk about vibe. It's not something mystical. It's actually something measurable. And when your internal signals are coherent, the world tends to respond differently. Not because reality is conspiring for you, but because humans are exquisitely sensitive to each other's state. The hedonic treadmill. There's another piece here that's important. Psychology calls it the hedonic treadmill. The idea that no matter what we achieve, more money, better health, more freedom, we quickly adapt. What once felt like abundance becomes normal. And then the mind moves the goalposts once again. And that's why chasing outcomes alone never quite satisfies. The arrival moment is always shorter than we expect, which leads to a quieter insight. If the feeling you're chasing is freedom, or vitality, or connection, why wait? Why not begin practicing that state now in the smallest possible ways? Identity and habit. This is where identity-based habits come in. Lasting change doesn't begin with goals. It begins with who you believe yourself to be. Instead of asking, how do I get there? Try asking, what would someone who lives with this kind of freedom do next? Not forever and not perfectly, just next. identity shifts behavior. Behavior trains the nervous system. The nervous system updates the brain's predictions, and slowly the future feels less threatening and more possible.
Is that why visualization works sometimes and fails other times?
Yes, and this matters. Visualization, properly understood. Visualization isn't about fantasizing outcomes. That often backfires. What works is rehearsing states and processes, visualizing yourself calm under pressure, visualizing responding well when things wobble, visualizing taking the next best step. That reduces uncertainty. It makes the future familiar to the nervous system. Visualization doesn't pull the future towards you, it makes you ready to meet it. Anti-trauma and readiness. There's a deeper layer here too. We know trauma can shape biology not by changing our genes, but by changing how the body reads them through epigenetics. Chronic stress leaves fingerprints. So it's reasonable to ask the inverse question: what happens when we repeatedly inhabit safety, agency, and coherence? We're not erasing the past, we're training readiness. In that sense, becoming is a kind of anti-trauma, not denial, but preparation.
So where does manifestation fit into all of this?
A gentle reconciliation. Maybe manifestation isn't wrong. Maybe it's just incomplete. Perhaps what people call attraction is really alignment. It's not magic, it's feedback loops. State shapes perception. Perception shapes behavior. Behavior shapes opportunity. And from the inside, it can feel like the universe is responding. The preciousness of this moment. And one more thing. Life is not a dress rehearsal. This moment, right now, is astonishingly precious. What you're longing for in the future, you already have traces of today. Moments of freedom, glimmers of peace, flashes of vitality. The invitation isn't to wait, it's to become, to live now from the state you believe the future will grant you, and then to do the work, build the habits, take the steps that allow that state to grow roots.
So instead of manifesting outcomes, we practice becoming?
Yes, don't manifest, just become. Because when you do, the future stops feeling like something to chase, and it starts feeling like something that can finally arrive.
Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy videos like this.